Hey y'all, what's poppin'? It's Najja and Iman. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey girl, thanks for stopping by. If you're not new, hey babe, thanks for coming back. Today I'm gonna be talking about what I learned in 2023. So I started this tradition 3 years ago in 2020, and I've just been doing it ever since. And I really just like what I got going on. I like this tradition, so we're just gonna keep it going. Y'all, when I tell you that this year was different, it was so different. This was a year of learning for me, and I'm talking about God sat me down on my behind and said, you gonna get these lessons, and let me tell you, I got the lessons. Okay, I feel like I'm leaving 2023 a completely new person with just so much wisdom and game. So let me put you on some of the game that I picked up this year. The first thing I learned is the concept of coram deo. So coram deo is a Latin term that simply means in the presence of God or before the face of God. And basically the big idea of the Christian faith is coram deo, and to live coram deo is to live a life of integrity, knowing that every action that you are making, every decision that you're making, every behavior that you are engaging in, you're doing it before God. So everything I do is before God. God is literally watching my every single step. So what am I going to do to honor that privilege, to honor this positioning that I'm in? God's literally here with me right now, watching everything I do. How am I going to live my life to honor him? I came across this concept, I think I was researching a passage in 1st or 2nd Samuel, I don't really remember, but I just came across this phrase during a Bible study, and I was like, what does that mean? It was like, coram deo. I need to get that blasted somewhere, because it just captures the fullness of what it means to be a Christian. Honestly, what it means to be a human being, period. All humans live before the face of God, but to be a Christian is to acknowledge that, it's to honor that, and it's to live our lives in a way that shows God that we know he's with us, if that makes any sense. I'll link the article I found about this concept in the description box. But God is omnipresent. There is no place so remote that we can escape his penetrating gaze. To be aware of the presence of God is also to be acutely aware of his sovereignty. And living under divine sovereignty involves more than a reluctant submission to sheer sovereignty that is motivated out of a fear of punishment. It involves recognizing that there is no higher goal than offering honor to God. Our lives are to be living sacrifices, oblations offered in a spirit of adoration and gratitude. So pretty much, God is sovereign. He created all of this. He created me. So my entire life should be an offering to him. What if my purpose in life is to just love God, honor God, and worship God? So that kind of goes into my second point, the second thing I learned, which is worship is a constant practice. I tweeted about this the other day. This year taught me that worship is a constant practice, not just something we do on Sundays. God is good all the time. So praise him all the time. God is good all of the time. And how much of a disservice would I be doing, not only to myself, but to God as well, if I just worshiped him on Sunday, if I just praised him on Sunday during church service, which lasts from 11 to 12:30, an hour and 30 minutes out of my entire week I spend worshiping God. No, I'm gonna spend every single waking moment of the day worshiping God. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and do it all over again. Worship is not something that is just restricted to a church service. It's not something you just do when you're under a church building around other Christians. It's a constant practice. This goes back to the coram deo point. God should see us worshiping him all the time. When we wake up, praying to him, opening that Bible, talking to him throughout the day, listening to gospel music throughout the day, listening to music that honors him throughout the day, honoring him with our words throughout the day, all day long, because of how amazing he is. When you really deep the fact that God is alive and with us every day, oh my gosh, why wouldn't you want to worship him? It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So yes, that's the second thing I learned, that worship is a constant practice, and it's not just restricted to even singing. And anything you do that is an offering up to God, that's honoring him, acknowledging his presence, expressing your love for God, that's what worship is. Okay, it's not just singing, it's not just listening to a sermon, it's not just dancing, it's praising him, period, through word, through song, through behavior, through thoughts, you know? Number 3, a lot of these are just God-centered, because I just feel like my relationship with God got so deep and strong this year. So yeah, most of these are, you know, about my faith. But the next thing I learned is that when God shuts a door, I don't need to go back and try to open it. I do not need to backtrack. I don't have to look back because I'm not going that way. Bruh, Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt for looking back. If she turned into a pillar of salt, what's gonna happen to me if I look back? And I try to go back to something that God pulled me out of. Like, yo, there's a cost to looking back. There's a cost to going back to a situation that God pulled you out of. And that cost is likened to Lot's wife turning into a pillar of salt. Let the past stay there. It's the past for a reason. That means you ain't supposed to go back and try to rehash old flings. You know what I'm saying? Reopen old wounds, reopen doors that God shut and locked. Like, let it be. Let it stay right where it is. And just keep your eyes forward, bro. I was meditating on Philippians 3:13. Forget the past and look forward to what lies ahead. That's the mindset that we in. That's the mindset that we in from now on, bruh. It's forward, not to the side, not to the side, not to the back. It's forward and upward. We're not trying to go back to the past. We have such a tunnel vision. Can't nothing distract our gaze. Because if God wanted me to be back there, he would have kept me there. He pulled me out of that situation. He pulled me out of that lifestyle. He pulled me out of that space, out of that mindset, and he placed me into this new season, this new body. He has made me new. Why would I go back to old stuff when God made me new? To God, it's like a slap in the face, low key. I have to stay on God's path and make sure that I'm not yearning for what used to be, but instead I'm yearning for what will be, for what God has for me, for what God sees for my future. Number 4, God's love over self-love. You cannot love yourself if you don't love God, period. You cannot know what love is if you don't love God first. Self-love can only grow through a relationship with God, because through a relationship with God, you're able to see yourself the way that God sees you. You're able to see yourself as beautiful, as worthy of love, as made whole, because he made you whole, not because you made yourself whole. You can't get to that point on your own. You can't get to that point through meditation and therapy and drugs and relationships. You can't get to that point without knowing your creator and knowing who he created you to be. Until you learn the deep love God has for you, you'll never know what it means to love yourself, nor will you know what it means to love other people. You'll just be devoid of love. So for so long I thought that I could just grow in self-love just off my own strength. Not until I gained a relationship with Christ did my relationship with myself blossom into something beautiful, something that would have never blossomed had I not come to know God. And that's always the missing piece, is God. God is always the missing piece. Nothing works. This is going into my next point. Nothing works if God isn't in it. Nothing works. Not relationships, not a career, not friendships, literally nothing. Life don't work if God ain't in it, because if God ain't in it, then we don't have life. You feel me? The sooner we learn that, the better off we'll be. God literally is the reason for all of this. So if he's not in the middle, if he's not at the front, if he's not the head, then be prepared for whatever you got going on to crumble in front of your eyes. It's not going to work. It's not going to be stable. How many times did I have to learn that lesson before I finally got it, before it finally clicked in my head? Like, bro, just stop trying to do this thing called life without God. It's so simple. If you're not getting your steps, good luck, Charlie. I have to stop expecting myself out of people because, well, 1, I'm me and they're them. Nobody is like me on this planet Earth. And 2, ain't nobody perfect. So expecting me out of someone else, I feel like it's kind of prideful, because I'm not even perfect. So how could I expect somebody else to be perfect? Like, when I say when I used to expect myself out of people, I would expect them to be as good as me, quote unquote. I don't even like using that word, because I've also come to learn that I am no better than the next person. We're all sinners. Like, bro, please. I'm low-key terrible, okay? And I'm only made perfect because of Jesus Christ. If you see anything good in me, it's Jesus. It ain't me. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of prideful, because I used to think like, oh, this person sucks. This person just did me so foul. This person is not living up to the standard of them that I created in my head. They're not living up to the image of them that I created in my head. Womp womp. Woe is me. I need to find somebody that's solid. I need to find somebody that treat me better. In romantic relationships and just platonic relationships, human relationships, period. when really I'm not perfect either. At the end of the day, I'm not the standard. Jesus is the standard. So it's not that I need to stop expecting myself out of other people. It's that I need to start looking for Jesus in everyone. And when they fall short, which they will, give them grace. Be merciful, because they're gonna fall short. And so am I, over and over again. It's all about perspective and just going back to Jesus, bro. He is the standard. And as long as I try to model my actions after him, keyword, I'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Grace it's a beautiful thing. And God had mercy on me, so I need to have mercy on other people. Like, I don't need to be so quick to write somebody off because they let me down. I don't put my trust in man anymore. I put my trust in God. So, hey, expect to be let down in life. Nobody's perfect. You're going to be disappointed sometimes. But at the same time, I need to be aware of energy vampires, because something that I ran into a lot this year is a lot of users. And although we have to have mercy on people that make mistakes, hurt us, do us wrong, whatever, I can also be cautious about who I lend my energy out to and who I allow in my intimate space. You know, I don't have to give my time, my energy, my being to every single person. Certain spirits only come to take and not to give, because I'm a very generous person and I like to give. But some people see that as a weakness and only see me as someone they could take advantage of and use. I don't like that. So I have to be more cautious about ways that I interact with people and just who I allow in my intimate space, because it's one thing to take resources from me, it's another thing to take time and energy from me. Those are indispensable resources, and I just can't. I don't have it in me no more. People are draining. Like, they will suck everything out of you if you let them, and I don't got time for that no more. So we're readjusting and moving a little differently come next year. Come now. Like, forget next year. We're moving differently from here on out, okay? Niceness versus kindness. Niceness is an act. Kindness is just a state of being. Niceness is people-pleasing. Niceness is letting people step over you, not having any boundaries, keeping your mouth closed in the name of being nice, not trying to hurt people's feelings. It's about self-image. Kindness is selfless. It's honest. I always go back to Jesus in the way that he interacted with his disciples, the Pharisees, the Romans, the regular people that he encountered on a daily basis, the people that he healed. He was a kind man. That don't mean he was a pushover. That don't mean he let people walk all over him. Nah, Jesus had boundaries and he didn't play. Jesus was flipping over tables, but he also was kind. He was honest and he spoke the truth in love. He never backed down from sharing the truth and being real with people. But he did all this with humility, with wisdom, with grace, and out of love, period. WWJD, he would tell the truth. The next thing I learned is that this spiritual realm is realer than real, and it's more real than the physical realm. I was listening to Megan Ashley's podcast, and she said that she learned whatever's happening in the physical is always an indication of what's happening in the spiritual. So I can't be so naive to think that this world is not spiritual. There's something happening in the spiritual realm right now that I can't see, but it's there. That just makes me vow to act differently. It makes me more cautious of the things that I say and the ways that I behave and the people that I interact with, and just what I put out into the air, how I walk every single day, being cautious of my surroundings and just aware, in tune, because we do not fight against flesh and blood, but evil spirits and principalities in heavenly places. We are simply spirits with bodies, and once we pass away, the body will be gone, but the spirits are going to go to another place. Our spirits are eternal. This is a spiritual world, and it's deep. Like, it's super duper duper deep. Like, oh, it get deep. I don't want to get too deep in this video, but I fear I've already gone there. The spirits be at play. Spiritual warfare is a thing. And now that I'm really walking with God, oh, they finna ramp it up. The enemy finna start getting active. When I was in the world, he wasn't tripping on me. He was not tripping on me. He was like, okay, she one of mine. Not anymore. Not I. Now that I'm really with the full armor of God, oh, he finna wake up and start really getting to work. So keep the eyes open. Gotta keep the eyes open. Yeah, I gotta stay ready, so I don't gotta get ready because it's not a game. Okay, the last thing I learned this year was kind of a simple concept, but not really. It's the idea that we're saved by grace through faith and not by works. I didn't really understand that. I used to think that we got into heaven based on what we do, but that's the furthest thing from the truth. The reason why we have a chance to even sit at the feet of Jesus Christ in heaven is because of the sacrifice he made for us on that cross. And that's the only reason. No amount of anything could make me worthy of that spot but what he did for me. That's it. I didn't get that, but now I get it. I got it so good. So that's it, guys. That's what I learned in 2023. A complete year of learning, a complete year of renewal, equipping myself and arming myself up for battle. It's gonna get good. I'm so excited for 2024. You know why? Because I'm walking with God now, and it's just different. Walking into this new year don't feel the same. I hope you guys are excited as well. 2024 is going to be a great year as long as you stay with God, period. That's all you got to do. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I will talk to y'all all in my next one. I love y'all. Bye.
Get in your bag. Sashay away. Pretty far.